Hello friend, welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. In past video I discussed with you the Lexus which overheated and the engine has to be replaced, and we followed basically how beautiful the replacement engine was. Almost brand new condition, super low miles, and how the owners are lucky about that. Well, it was not so easy as you can imagine, as usually. So this shop was ready to put this brand new used motor in the vehicle, and I will show you how actually complex everything is. So you think just replacing the engine, will you pull it out and nothing else is involved with it? Of course not. Look what we are looking at. It's not just the engine and has to be disconnected from transmission and so on. No, there is way more parts involved. So the transmission, it's still here and it's sitting on the subframe, and that's actually helpful. The subframe lowering is helpful procedure for it. Obviously you will always have to disconnect the exhaust. It's like a little puzzle nicely sitting here. I will obviously not touch anything. Both CV axles. It's a front wheel drive vehicle, so you can see basically where it was disconnected, right here, and all this is emptiness. Absolutely beautiful opportunity. I'm thankful they are letting us to film this. So you can see how involved it is, right? How many things has to be removed, disconnected and replaced. But as you know, in automotive industry, and maybe you don't know, and that's why I make this video, nothing goes easy. So the number one, you all, I'm sure, clearly commented that despite the fact this water pump is perfectly brand new, it will be replaced. They just confirmed they are waiting for it from Toyota. This will be replaced before putting it in. Now, there is also another complication. The bottom, the pan, and you can see the 5PG squeeze out right now. Despite the fact the engine looked brand new, actually, as the wrecking yard was removing it, they damaged the pan, and I don't know exactly where, but there was a crack in the aluminum, and they had to already transfer it from the old engine. Unfortunately, they were able to use that, and it's almost ready, minus that water pump. Look, that water pump as the engine was overheated. Now I talked to the tech who's working on it, and he brought up another very interesting item from that overheating. So as you can see, this black intake, which is made of plastic, it's removed. This is the bad engine. Let's go look on the intake manifold, which was removed from that overheated, severely overheated engine. So this is how it's supposed to look like. He has it nicely, everything it's organized around here. And look what that huge heat did to the plastic plenum, the intake plenum. You can see the throttle body, which is made of cast, it's aluminum, but this is all plastic. And look, that heat started melting this plastic. It created this melted plastic which was being sucked inside in the engine. It's absolutely unbelievable what ignorance of the coolant heat or coolant temperature gauge, which basically that's what happened. These people were ignoring the fact it was heavily overheating due to the leaking water pump. They ignored that and they severely overheated the engine. Even the plenum started melting, the plastic was melting, and it was absolutely crazy situation. This engine is done. This will be the core. I believe the wrecking yard will take it back for a core of 100 or 200 bucks. And if you don't want that, you can keep it, obviously. But this was so severely overheated, which you can see it's perfectly visible on the plastic, which normally is not sensitive to the heat of the engine, right? This is for entire life attached to that aluminum part, but it got so hot. Look at this. This was being sucked. The melted plastic was being sucked by the vacuum in the engine inside of it, causing all other problems. It can be on the valves or something. So this is the saga, this is the story. What can happen? And that kind of can also explain that this is not a cheap repair. I don't know how much they are charging. I'm not going to ask them. That's absolutely their thing. But look at that. Look how much work is involved in all of this. It's unbelievable. It is what it is. You have to, this all could be prevented if the owners of this Lexus just paid attention to the engine coolant gauge, and when it was getting hot, you don't have to even see the steam coming from under the hood. That's why that coolant temperature gauge is there. If it's getting hot, you really should pull over, stop, and if there is something leaking from the engine, always just tow it. Don't think you will top it off like these people did. This is what I know. I never talked to the owners, but I was told they topped it off and they just kept driving for a couple days, completely cooked that engine, and now there is such a huge repair needed. So I hope you will like this video. It's something special. I don't think you can see that every day somewhere. Here is the replacement getting ready, and I think it's coming back in today, so everything can be saved. It's just a question how much it will cost, obviously. So good job, guys. This is obviously detailed work, and you have to have a certain level of craftsmanship to be able to deal with this. Back to the bad engine, the cooked one. I was wondering if that water pump is moving. Let's see. You can see the leakage, all that coolant. Look at that. So it's a bearing which failed. It was not just a seal. This is typical rumble for the failed water pump. This creates these noises, very typical. Yeah, it's way too loose, and there is a huge play. I hope you see it in that angle. That's when this happens, you have to immediately stop driving, otherwise these damages can happen. And that's an Aisin Toyota water pump. It's very unusual that it failed at this mileage. I'm very surprised. And the bottom was transferred. I think they said it was damaged was the aluminum part, so they switched it from the bad engine on the good one. It's very fascinating here. And the plastic was pulled. In this I can actually see droplets of it as the melted plastic was shooting and being sucked inside of the engine. Very, very fascinating. So I hope you love this little excursion in my neighboring shop. I hope you love all these details. I personally find it fascinating to see all of that and what happened really, and this is still not done. If you liked it, please give it a thumb up. Be subscribed, have a notifications, and stay tuned. I will always have more videos coming your way soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.